A spicy hot sauce recipe made with sweet mangoes and fiery habanero peppers and a bunch of others in there. It's time to spice things up. We're going Caribbean with this recipe, bringing in flaming habaneros, bird's eyes jalapenos, cayenne peppers, with velvety smooth mango, vinegar and a few spices amongst other things. You can pour this all over chicken, prawns, fish or even ribs. I love it. It is a way of life, this stuff. Now I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of hooked on this sauce. I've just made it and it's half gone already. Damn. Caribbean style mango habanero hot sauce. It's extremely delicious and you'll need to make a couple of extra batches, I reckon. G'day guys, it is Chris here with you again from Low Carb Life, and today I am making a spicy mango habanero sort of hot sauce or a chili sauce. So we're going to be putting a variety of different things in. It's not mango season now, so we're going to be using frozen mango. It's much better when it is fresh. We've got some habaneros here from the garden, a few different cayennes and a jalapeno just because why not, I've got one here. So we're going to whack them in. We've got a few of the slightly more mustard habaneros there. I'm going to put a little bit of pineapple juice unsweetened in. I'm going to be adding a bit of stevia just to give it a little bit of sweetness to balance out the heat, and plenty of lemon and vinegar to give it that tang, and it's going to have a bit of a kick guys because these habaneros are quite hot. We're going to put a bit of onion, and I'm also going to add a secret ingredient that can be found in Indian cuisines, and it just gives it a flavour that sits in the background and you can't tell what it is, but it tastes damn good. This is going to be one of those sauces that we're not fermenting, so it's going to be kept in the fridge, and then we're going to put it into a squeeze bottle. Nice and simple squeeze bottles like this, so if it's kept in the fridge it won't go off, it won't start fermenting because there's going to be a little bit of residual sugars from the lemon, from the mango, and probably from the pineapple juice as well a little bit, and obviously a little bit inside those chilies. So we want to keep that nice and cool, and then it's food safe. The pH with the vinegar and lemon is going to be quite low, so it should stop things growing in there. So get excited, I am keen to try this, and let's get into it. Just before I start, I want you to go and hit that like and subscribe button because I'm going to be doing a passion fruit chili sauce in the next few days, so you don't want to miss out on that one. It's a weird and wild one, but it's going to be insanely good. So make sure you go and like and subscribe and stick around as we go forth into the journey that is hot sauces. So we're going to start by rinsing off our habaneros, jalapenos, cayennes and Thai bird's eyes because they seem to get dirt on them. I don't know how it happens because they're growing on a bush, but every time I pull some off there seems to be a little bit of this black stuff on them. It's not mold, but I'm not sure what it is. I am going to start de-seeding these chilies a little bit. Because this is a fresh sauce, I am going to pull the seeds out because the flesh actually has quite a bit of heat in it. Well, it has a lot of heat, but you know, it's not a myth that the seeds do contain a hell of a lot of heat as well. So I do like it quite hot, hence why I've got quite a few chilies in here, but I'm going to take those seeds out. Now make sure you wear gloves before you start handling these chilies. Trust me, I've done it before and it was quite unpleasant. And yeah, if you don't wear gloves, you're going to find that you're probably going to have tingly fingers for quite a few days afterwards. I had my tingly fingers for about 2 days after. So I'm just going to grab a spoon. This makes it a lot easier to get the seeds out, and I'm just going to have my little waste kind of thing over here, so I'm just going to scoop. Now, jalapenos aren't overly hot, but they can be a bit bitter in those seeds, so take them out anyway. Alright, and then we're going to pop it in the bowl, which is going to be going into the blender later on. So just keep scraping those out. Alright, and then we're going to start nicking these tops off and in half. Alrighty. Just like that. Scraping most of the seeds out. Won't matter if you leave a few in there. Should be pretty right. These are the cayennes. And actually one of the little bird's eyes slipped in to here anyway. So a little Thai bird's eye there. They look little and cute, but trust me, they pack a punch. They're quite warm, so we'll scrape the seeds out of that. And make sure you use your spoon vigorously enough that you spread them all over the kitchen. So this is a bit of a concern because I grow chilies as well, and occasionally I'll be planting them down here, and if there's seeds everywhere and I drop one out of a packet that I've bought, you know, of a particular variety, and you go on the ground and have a look, and you find 20 seeds, you're just not sure which one is the one you're after, so keep it tidy. Alright, cayennes again. These do have a nice little bit of heat in the flesh, not so much, but look, they're not bad. So I'm just going to halve these, give them that little same scoop treatment here. You don't need to watch me do all of them. I'm just going to scoop that out and get that one out, nick the top off that as well. Okay, and then that's basically the inside. So there's a couple of seeds around, but look, I'm not too stressed about that. I'm just going to go through the rest of these, but I'll just char grill them. I just realised it's going to give them more char grill if I just do them in halves first, so there'll be more spots that get the blackening on them, which should add some more flavour. Now, I clearly did a great job of washing, because look at that crap on there. Better rinse that off before I get to that. I'll set that one aside, I'll do that later. So while I'm chopping up these chilies with my new knife, I think it's time for some sharp wit. It's been really nice having you guys here watching me, and thanks so much for your time. Somebody stop me. Alright guys, so I've just washed my knife and my hands, and we're going to get this onion chopped up into a few different pieces. So I've got one whole red onion here, which I'm just going to nick to get that skin off a bit easier. And then we're going to char grill that one on the barbecue. So I'll do it in a few smaller pieces, so like, you know, sort of maybe quarters or something. That char grilled flavour carries through to the final product, and it's awesome. It really does taste good. So that layer, that last layer, doesn't want to come off without the skin. And you can hear that baby chicken in the background going nuts. He's hatched before his little mates have, so he's feeling pretty lonely. He's freaking out, but look, he'll be right. Actually, I'm going to go thirds here. 1, 2 there. Alright, trying to keep it together if you can. Okay, so we've got those guys ready. I'm just going to pop them up into our bowl as well here. Then the garlic. So just give that a nice big old squish around. Get jibbed at the garlic shop. We've bloody put a fair bit of this stalk in here. Now, lots of garlic. We love garlic. So plenty of it. Let's get it all around. Probably just going to use the whole thing, to be honest. Nothing wrong with that. Now, when I've cut those onions, my eyes have started to water, but I do not want to risk rubbing them here, because trust me, it really freaking burns, and your eye skin is really sensitive. So you really don't want to have that happen to you. Now, I'm going to try and peel these so I can keep them whole. Now I know this is a fair amount of garlic, but when you put it on the barbie, it just mellows it out quite a bit, so don't stress too much about having a massive garlic breath after the fact. Right, so that's pretty much it. I've got everything in there ready to go onto the barbecue. The barbecue is absolutely burning hot currently upstairs, it's smoking. Just gonna give it a quick clean, and I'm gonna put these on, and we're gonna get them blackened a bit on the outside just for that extra flavour, and then it's all going in the blender. I'm gonna blend it up, strain it, and that'll be that. Alrighty guys, I'm just going to give this a quick clean. It's pretty much turned everything that was on there into charcoal. Give it a bit of a scrape. Now guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm not. If summer had a defining smell, I would have to say that smell would be a barbecue that is lit. It's delicious. There's something to be said for it. Now, I'm not going to put oil on them because I want them to kind of burn and char as much as we can. I'm going to be adding a tiny little bit of oil later with our xanthan gum. Go from there. So I'm going to put them skin side down to start with, and I'm going to hook in. So it's on a high heat at the moment. And this is they're gonna wilt a little bit after we sort of put these the lid down, stuff, so they'll char, they'll wilt, and should be pretty tasty. This will take a little bit of the kick out of it, so if you want you can keep some aside, but I happen to know that these habaneros are very hot as they are, so I'm happy to lose a little bit of heat to sacrifice the charred flavour. Jalapenos on there. garlic, spread those basilics out. Now if you can try and group them together a bit, makes it easy to pull them off when they're ready, because they kind of get ready at different times. So, good thing to note down. Bird's eye, hello, old fella. And that other onion, just going to chuck it on there. Hoping for the best. You'll lose a bit of them down the cracks, but don't stress too much. Use a clean hand to shut this. It's been about a minute or so. I'm just going to have a quick look, so we don't want them getting too cooked either. So let's have a look. So put it midway. Ooh, nice and black there. Yeah, a bit black, not too bad. How's the onion looking? The onion is stuck to the grill. Alright, nice and blackened. Probably time to give those guys onions a bit of a turn. So we're doing it for flavour, we're not trying to necessarily cook them. Ooh, that is a bloody hot barbecue, that. I'll tip them all sideways first, and then I'll tip them on their sides. Ooh, it's breaking up. Jalapeno's starting to look good. Blistering in the skin, that's what we want to see. Looking good, guys. Okay, that's starting to smell a lot more like burning chili. And that's what we're after, that black stuff. So, I go ahead and flip these all over. And refrain from the want to use my hands. I'm just going to grab some tongs, actually. It gets a bit too hot for the old hands, so tongs are better. Flipping all these guys over, they are looking damn fine. So it's not too much black on there, and their blackness does add a tiny bit of bitterness, but we're going to be balancing that. Watch those fumes, holy hell. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Well, I can tell you for a fact, that burns the lungs in a way that you don't want to experience. Stay upwind of your bloody chilies, eh? Now this will add a slight bit of sweetness as well, especially for that garlic. If you guys have ever had roasted garlic, you digging what I'm shoveling, you know what I mean. It's pretty tasty stuff. Once they've got their awesome blackness all over them, they're nice and charred, get them off and get them into the bowl, let them sweat, and we're going to go down and make the rest of the sauce. So pretty much from this point on, I'm not at risk of burning the living daylights out of myself with the chili, so I'm going to free my hand of that glove because I get mighty sweaty in there. Chuck that out. Now basically what we're going to do, I'm just going to grab a spoon and I'm going to bring our blender jug down here, so this is where the magic happens. So firstly, we're going to grab our mango prepared earlier. We've got about 500 grams here. It doesn't really matter. I'd say that's about 2, maybe 3 mangoes if you like. So get them in. That chili is potent. It is smelling good. It is smelling very spicy, and it's getting me going. I'm pretty excited. So we're going to tip that over. We're going to pop these in as well. Watch those fumes. It's pretty strong. The face says it all. It's a bit intense. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we are going to put a few things of lemon into here. So I'm just going to cut up 3 lemons. And I'm going to strain the lemon juice in, because you don't necessarily want the seeds getting into this. So it didn't get seedless lemons, so we're just going to squish that in. Looks good. I like to get that last little bit out for fun. One. Yeah, the acidic content of these sauces that you don't actually ferment are critical, because it's the acid that sort of stops that bacteria from taking a hold and trying to ferment and things like that. So we're going to make sure the pH is low, and then we've got plenty of salt in there as well to help with that preservation throughout the time that it's going to be in the fridge for about a week, because it's only going to be in there for a week, because I'm going to probably eat or drink all 3 bottles of it within that time. Trust me, this stuff is so good, it's not funny. So it's a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, Very, yeah, got a good sort of tang to it. Good bit of roast, charred, smoky flavour almost, if you like. And it's absolutely beautiful. So you guys are gonna absolutely love it. Now, if you guys watched the last video, I'm gonna do something here that is a bit tricky. So it's not tricky to do, it's just tricky for the sauce. It's gonna be some xanthan gum in here. It's gonna make it a little bit thicker, which is gonna be absolutely awesome. It stops us having to put flour or anything in there. You would never do that to a chili sauce anyway, but sometimes you don't want it separating in the bottles, especially if you're giving it away to people. You don't want that separating. We have to shake it up each time. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little bit of xanthan gum in. I'm gonna get some oil on the spoon first. So here I've got some xanthan gum. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of oil on a tablespoon first. Alrighty. Now there's a reason why we put the xanthan gum into the oil to begin with, right? So xanthan gum, as soon as it gets near moisture, it gets extremely clumpy, thick, and hard to work with. So I'm gonna chuck a bit in here, and then I'm gonna mix the oil and xanthan gum together to make a bit of a paste. Then I'm gonna put it in the water. So because the xanthan gum absorbs water, it makes a real mess, like I am doing here currently. So once we put this in with the liquids and start blending it, the blender's going to do a good enough job that it's not going to get all clumpy. It'll break up any clumps that are in there, but at the same time, I don't want to risk it. So let's get this all up on here. Do your finest not to get it everywhere, but look what I've done. It's just classic. I cannot help myself making a mess. I'm going to put that in there. Most of it in there, hopefully. Some of it just will stay on the spoon, but what can you do? You can only do what you can do. Here is the secret ingredient that I was telling you guys about. Get ready for this one. Now guys, this is a secret ingredient. I'm not sure if I can actually pronounce it correctly, but I call it asafoetida. It's an Indian sort of relative of the fennel or celery, I believe, and it's like garlic and kind of like onion together. So it's quite potent, and you don't need much of it. So I'm just going to open it up. If you have a sniff of it, it's quite a strange smell. I'm just going to use the back of a dry spoon here to pop probably 2 lumps of that in. 1, 2. Alright. Now this stuff, once it's cooked, it gets way more mellow than it tastes initially, and it just makes the flavour insanely delicious. It mellows out. You don't know it's there, but you taste it and you're like, what is that flavour? It's really nice. I'm absolutely loving it. But it's really good. So the last couple of things we're going to put in here, we're going to put about a half cup to a cup of vinegar. About that much. Clearly well measured by me. And I'm going to get some stevia. Now guys, what I'm going to do with the stevia, I'm going to grab one of these little glass bowls. I'm going to put about a tablespoon and a half of stevia in here, and I'm going to put some hot water in it and then pour it in, because if you don't dissolve it before you put it in there, you might end up with chunks and you'll lose a bit when you pour it out into the pan to warm up. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I've just got about half and half stevia to water. Don't want too much water because I don't want to sort of dilute the solution too much. So dissolve it as best you can. At the best of it, even if you can't fully dissolve it because the solution gets saturated, you're going to be pretty right. Just keep stirring it for a bit, pour it in, because all those particles are going to shrink a bit anyway. A lot easier to break up. And the motion of that blender, the motion in the ocean, is certainly going to help that along, because this thing is ferocious. I'm not sure how many horses they fit into that motor, but trust me, it's more than one, that's for sure. Alright, that's as good as I'm going to get, or all I can be stuffed to do, so I'm just going to pour that in. Alright, scrape out any of those little particles left in there. Then we're going to pop in our salt and pepper. So I've got my nice light salt here, bit of a douse of that, plenty of. Alright, it's a sauce, you're not necessarily drinking the stuff, and plenty of pepper, black pepper. Alright, that's that. As I have learned from previous videos, be very careful when you open that once you've blended chili, because the fumes are pretty strong. So lid on, make sure it clips in and on. Now, remember, practice what you preach. So that's far away. She smells pretty tasty. Grab your pineapple juice. We're going to pull that off. We're going to add about a cup to maybe a cup and a half of that. Because as it reduces, we're going to lose some to evaporation. Turn the stove on. I'm going to put it on a high to medium heat and make sure you do the right one. It's quite simple really, actually. I should have just done that from the start. So we're going to put that one up to 9 and I'll back it off 1 or 2. Alright, now make sure you turn that on, then pour in your sauce. Alright, now that looks great. It's nice and thick already from that xanthan gum. But we're just going to make sure that it is totally free of bugs by heating it up here. It's going to actually meld the flavours together a bit better. And damn, I tell you what, adding that pineapple and the mango really set this thing off. It's got a really, really delicious tang to it. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to turn that up to 9. And I'm going to stay here kind of stirring it for a while, making sure it doesn't get stuck to the bottom or anything. And then I'm going to add a couple of little spices in there, a little bit of coriander, tiny bit of cumin, just to balance those flavours out a bit more from what I was tasting. I've got some cumin powder I'm about to put in, just a little bit. It actually really just connects the flavours together well. Don't drop your camera into the bloody pot. Alright, so we're going to pop them in. Bit of that, not sure how much we've just put in. I'm going to say that looks to me about a teaspoon, or half a teaspoon really. So we have arrived at the critical moment. So I've got the sauce, it's still piping hot. I've got this ready downstairs before. I'm just mixing it around a bit just to make sure the bubbles. When you put the xanthan gum in, one thing I did learn is I'd probably put the xanthan gum after I'd cooked it next time and I'd re-blend it. I am going to probably put it in the blender, back into the blender to make it a lot easier to pour into these. I'm going to be using a funnel to help that in there, and then I'm going to be doing some jars as well. Now guys, these jars are not mason jars or mason, which are kind of heat proof, but these are normal jars. So I've put boiling water or hot, warmish hot water in them, you know, as hot as the tap goes, just to preheat them before I go and put this in, because it was near on boiling. So I don't want to crack the glass, and you know, seriously, when you're filling this up and you're already pouring this in, you don't need glasses cracking and stuff going everywhere. Don't ask me how I know about that. So I'm just going to put a bit of sanitizer from a brewing kit on here, spray that. And I'm just going to pull the lids off so we can do this in one fell swoop. Now, I am going to put this blender that we've just washed out, I'm going to fill him up with the sauce. So let's get that on there. And I'm just going to pour most of it in, then I'll scrape the rest out. So beautiful. Now this is a pretty top blender I've got here, so not much will phase it, especially boiling liquids. If you leave the thing going long enough, it will boil liquids itself just from the friction of the blades. You can make gazpacho, soup and stuff in it, which I have made before and it was awesome. But that will be another video. So get all the sauce out. You don't want to waste any of your hard work, so get as much of that out as you can. And then put that somewhere where your wife won't get mad at you if you burn the desk or the bench and stuff. So I'm just going to put it on top of a bowl. I feel like that's the safest option. And alright, I'm going to start pouring this into the bowl. Lift it up a bit. So it's super hot, so it's going to be kind of sanitizing the walls as it does. Go up there and kills every bit of bug. I'm just going to do that to these 3. Ooh, that one was close. So it's hot now, so it's fully kind of expanded. Bubbles will rise to the surface, but also it's going to shrink as it cools down, so that's okay. I'm going to cap these so the steam can kind of build up in the top of it to kind of sterilise that part. Right, might blow the top off, but look, should be right. I've left enough headspace in there. Right, so these are going to go out to friends, family, whatnot. That's beautiful. Which I've cleaned all the lids and everything before. Guys, you need to be seriously ready for this. Don't any mishaps along the way, but that is hot, too hot to hold, which is a good thing. It means it's killing everything while you do it. So just tip out the excess water there. Oh, shit. Whoops. Take your thing out of the top, your funnel, put that in the sink and try that again. Now I've got bloody stuff all down the side there. That's just going to be enough to fill this one up, so I'm just going to do it. It's the last one. Absolutely beautiful. So clean that off. Tighten that one up. And that is how to make a mango habanero, Thai bird's eye and cayenne pepper sauce. Join me next time to make a passion fruit habanero sauce.